Hey guys, in this video I'll be going through how to solve Leetcode question 500 called keyboard row. So the question is we're going to be given an array of strings and we have to output an array of strings with all of the words that could have been made up with only one row of the keyboard. So in the example here we were given hello, Alaska, dad, and peace. And then we output Alaska and Dad because those two could be made on just one row of the keyboard. And they don't necessarily have to be the same row either. But then you can see like hello would not be right because the H and the E are on different rows. So to solve this question, we'll essentially want to make like a hash table to store for each letter in the alphabet which row of the keyboard it's on. So I'm just going to paste this in so you guys don't have to watch me type it all out. But essentially what this does, or what I did here, first just made an array for our output, and then I made an unordered map, which if you guys don't know what this does, it'll just set the letter equal to the number. So if we want to grab from our map whichever row like F is on, it'll tell us that it's on row 2. So then with this, we can just kind of like loop through all the words and all the letters for each word and check to see if they're all equal. And if they're all equal, then we know that they're all in the same row. So I'm going to define a starting num variable. So that'll be set to whatever like the first letter is. So then we're just going to loop through each word in our words array. And starting num is just set to rows is our unordered map, and it's going to get the value of the first character. And I set this to 2 lower because I believe this ignores capitalization. We can then define a boolean, call it one row, set it equal to true. So this will tell us essentially if they're all the same. And at this point they would all be the same because we've only checked the first one. So now we'll just loop through the rest of the characters in the word, starting at 1 since we already have 0. So now we would just want to check if they're not equal to each other. So if the current one would be rows 2 lower again, word I, so this is like the current character set to lowercase, and then get the whichever row of the keyboard it's on. And then if that is not equal to our starting num, then we can set our boolean equal to false, and we'll just break out of this for loop because we don't need to check anymore once one of them is false. Then after the for loop, we'll check if one row. And so if this was true, then we didn't reach any characters that were on a different row, and so we need to push the current word to our output. Okay, so then once we've looped through all of the words in the given word array, we should just be able to output or return our output vector, and that should be it. So for the complexity of this algorithm, I'll start with space. So The only thing we're storing, well, one obviously is the map. However, this is just constant because it'll always be the same map no matter what our input is. And then we're also storing the output, which will depend on the input. But this will could only be as big as words, which is going to be linear. So our space is O of n. And then for the time complexity, we are going to run this for loop once for every word in our word array, and then we're also going to be checking every character. So we can say it's n times m time, where n is the length of words and m is the length of the longest word in our words array. Alright, and I think that's going to do it. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope this was helpful.